a warning?
There's nothing to worry about.
I'm worried that you work in an office, have children, celebrate wedding anniversaries. The world of heterosexual is a sick and boring life.
Hi, everyone. We want to say a great big thank you and hello to all of our active patrons. Whether you are a Chastity Pariah, Weezer Boudreau, or Liesl von Rumen, this is the time where we want to say a great big thank you and hello to all of you, including Dawn, Joshua, Aaron, Benjamin, Michael, Cicely, Charles, Dana, Lisa, both Jonathans, Teresa, Robbie, Callum, Chava, Kitsch Barbie Clubhouse, Ronnie, Matt, Carla, Megan, Andrew, Stephen, Espy, Ashanti, Brian, Deja, Amy, Erica, Anna, our friends at How Do You Drew, Andy, Kate, Roberto, Daisy, Kelly, Chrissy, Laura, Thomas, Lori, Brenna, Lawrence, Lisa, Alexis, Thomas, Millie, Ben, Mel, Susan, Paul, Jamie, Drew, Genevieve, Dawn, Josh, Aaron, Nick and Shannon, Christine, and Rufino. Thank you so much for being patrons.
Join the Movies That Made Us Gay patron at patreon.com/movies that made us gay and join one of the 3 levels we offer where you can access special monthly bonus episodes like the TV shows that keep us gay or the Watch With Us commentaries. Now enjoy the episode.
There is nowhere to hide.
You're all I have left. I don't want to work on the water.
No way to escape.
There's never been a great white where we live.
I can't just let you go back down.
No one to help. Man's deepest fear has risen again. Lorraine Gary and Michael Caine. Jaws, The Revenge. This time, it's personal. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, July 17th at theaters everywhere.
Welcome back, listeners.
Welcome back. You might not be able to see this, listeners, but I am fresh from the salon.
Ooh.
I am trying out the Ellen Brody asymmetrical bob.
I
How do you think it's?
I love an 80s asymmetrical bob.
You like it?
It is very Lorraine Gary. I'm going to call her Lorraine Gray for the next 90 minutes.
Is it not? Is it not Lorraine Gray?
It's Gary.
Gary? Okay.
Yeah, it is a little. It's a little bit Midler and Big Business, borderline, but it's a great hairstyle. It looks great on you, listeners. Maybe we'll get some altered images of this. But this movie is iconic for many reasons.
It was bringing me back,
and we will talk about those right now. My name's Pete.
And I'm Scott, and these are the movies that made us gay. Friend of the podcast, horror expert and author Paul Downey, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hello. How are you doing today?
Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is amazing.
Absolutely. You're very welcome for coming on, and thank you for suggesting this film. This was a lot of fun to rewatch.
So we have talked about doing this Jaws movie. We have not. This is not the first time Jaws has been on the show. We have talked about with the Doom Generation podcast. We have talked about Jaws 3D.
Jaws 3D.
So we have definitely talked about this giant great white on the podcast. But you know, Paul, I have had Jaws the Revenge as an episode on my mind for a number of years.
Yeah.
So I was so happy that you reached out wanting to talk about this movie because it was definitely something that we had to get to on this show.
Yeah, it's quite something in terms of, especially watching it now with obviously there's almost like 40-year lens on it. We can interpret it in so many different ways, and like from this recent rewatch for the show itself, and I kind of found a new take, and I was like, oh, this is really interesting. I had a bit more fun with it as well.
I definitely had more fun with it this time around. I have some vague memories of originally seeing it when it was first released on VHS. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Scott, talk about Jaws the Revenge before we get started.
This movie is directed by Joseph Sargent, written by Michael de Guzman, released July 17th, 1987. This was a troubled and very rushed production that was hated by critics and is the lowest of the franchise. Universal Studios, I think, was going through a rough patch in the mid-'80s, and they wanted to make another Jaws movie. I think that the Jaws ride had just been built at Universal Studios Florida, so a little corporate tie-in to doing a movie that would come out, I think, around the time the ride was coming out.
Sure.
I think.
We love a corporate tie-in.
I love a corporate tie-in.
I love a movie made to push a theme park ride.
Yeah. But I'm also very fascinated with this type of sequel of a movie that shouldn't have a sequel. I have in my notes some movies that should not have no business having sequels.
Sure.
Is, of course, Jaws, The Hangover, Speed.
One and done, yeah.
I would say the Matrix movies do not work as sequels.
Yeah, that could have ended right then and there.
And
so you're talking about every Jaws sequel.
I would say every Jaws sequel.
Yeah.
This movie does not lend itself to telling its story again.
All right. Paul, what do you think about that hot take?
But yeah, I'm very fascinated with this type of sequel.
I mean, you're right, obviously. But like with all of them, with Jaws 2 and with Jaws 3D, because of the way that the timeline flips around so much, and with this one, it's really weird because the way that the studio wanted it was almost like the remember in the 90s when they were trying to annul kind of sequels, Halloween H2O. So Halloween 2, Halloween H2O.
Right.
This is basically meant to be Jaws the Revenge. 2 and 3 don't exist in this timeline. It's all very weird. Because originally it was called Jaws 87, I think, which was meant to be the way it was kind of skipping the other two, essentially.
Okay, so this is kind of so this makes sense more as a soft reboot because I feel like 3 is the big elephant in the room that, like, more so than 2, you can kind of get away with 2 existing in the universe of this movie, but 3 is the big one that's just like those Brody boys are completely, aside from there being different actors, the characters are completely different. It's completely different storyline, and so yeah, this just kind of if you look at it as a soft reboot like H2O or even Halloween 2018 and saying none of the previous sequels exist, it does go down a little easier.
Although, weren't you telling me that they offered one of the Brody boys?
Well, let's talk about that in our
to Quaid
in our movie Bible IMDb trivia. It is noted that Dennis Quaid and Bess Armstrong from 3 were offered parts in this movie. Right? I don't know how apocryphal or credible that is, but their characters are, like I said, in Jaws 3. The girlfriend, the Bess Armstrong character, is the marine biologist, and Mike Brody is an engineer? ?
Wait for the theme park, doesn't he? He's just having a good time.
Yeah. You know? So
they would a lot of cocaine, apparently.
Yeah. So they would have had to maybe flip careers for this, or just the whole script would have been different. But yes, I don't see that fitting in. So this does make more sense if they're just like, forget it, let's wipe the slate clean, and we're going to start with a fresh story.
Yeah, I mean, and in terms of the casting as well, I mean, there was obviously approaches to other people. You know, obviously, in a perfect world, they would have had Roy Scheider back. In the script that was basically leading up to filming, there is actually a cameo for Hooper, albeit very briefly over the phone in a scene.
Okay.
So it's the scene, the Christmas Day scene when they're opening the presents and that. The phone rings. And this is in the script that basically is the shooting script that Hooper basically rings up and speaks to Mike over the phone. And he's on the, I forget what the ship was called that he was meant to go off in Jaws to.
Oh, sure. Okay, well, I mean, before we get into the real, nuts and bolts of this movie, let's take it back a little bit. We typically like to start off with our earliest memories of this movie when we first saw it, what kind of brought it to our attention and made it a movie that we love and want to talk about it. So, Paul, why don't you talk about your earliest memories of seeing Jaws: The Revenge and the impact, if any, it had on you?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're with as I was saying before we started recording, to me, for years, there was only 2 Jaws films. There was Jaws and there was Jaws: The Revenge, because for some reason the BBC really liked to show Jaws: The Revenge quite a lot. So after being introduced to Jaws as probably bit too young a child, but that's a story as old as time, isn't it? Jaws the Revenge used to have these adverts on the BBC to kind of promote it, these like little snippets, like 30 seconds, and it's the scene where Alan's out swimming in the sea. I think it's a dream sequence, and gets attacked, and that's the clip they showed, and I was like, oh my gosh, well, I have to kind of see this. And it was always kind of on, so you were always kind of seeing bits and pieces of it until you saw it all. But as a bit of a, as we all were at some point, a bit of a squeamish kid, there was two kind of scenes in horror films that I couldn't really watch as a child, and there was Quint's death in Jaws, and there was Sean Brody's death in Jaws the Revenge, because of how horrifically violent they both are. Because arguably, even though Jaws the Revenge doesn't maybe have the kills or whatever the others, it's probably the most violent of the films as well, and it's it's got a bit of a nasty streak to it. But I was kind of, you're enamored with the film when you see them, and I think it was my 9th birthday, something like that, and I asked for Jaws because it was out of print on VHS in the UK, and my mum got me Jaws and Jaws the Revenge, and that was my birthday present, basically. It's like them on VHS, and it was like kind of wore the tape out and all that kind of stuff. But
love it.
But I didn't know there was a Jaws 2 and a Jaws 3 for years after that, until it was kind of pointed out to me. Obviously, we're in a pre-internet era, so it's just about kind of word of mouth, or almost like word on the schoolyard, essentially. So they were kind of. It was always kind of a 1-2 hit to me, and I think that's why they kind of fit together better to me. Even though watching Jaws 2 years later, it feels like a natural sequel in the sense of the cast, obviously, Rashada coming back, Lorraine Gary, and the like. It was always kind of that 1-2 hit for me.
I can relate to that. I mean, it was very similar in America, of that when you would watch these movies on basic cable, they were always the most readily available. So I remember first watching the original Jaws, 1975, probably around the time of the 20-year anniversary, because that's when you started to see the most television airings on TNT and TBS. And I want to say that they would start to program Jaws the Revenge with it. I don't know how that works. Maybe it was the most affordable to get the television airings of it.
Well, it was the most recent.
It was the most recent that you did used to see this movie rerun a lot. And I didn't catch up to Jaws 2 until a number of years later. Yeah. So I'm kind of the same, that I would watch them both kind of, I would have seen them around the same time.
Yeah. In 1987, when Jaws the Revenge was released, I was 9. I did not see it in the theater, but I saw it on VHS. And I was old enough to remember the marketing, and I was old enough to remember the backlash, and just having this idea in my head of this movie is not well received, it's corny, and then watching it. But I'm 9, right? Or maybe by the time I watch it on VHS, I'm 10, and I'm not sitting there critically going like, this is implausible. I'm just thinking like, okay, whatever. It's a Jaws sequel.
Oh, I was into this movie as a kid.
But also like...
unironically into it.
But also as a 10-year-old, I'm thinking, I don't want the grandma to be the main character. What am I following the grandma around? Like who? What? Like I saw Jaws 3D in the theater, so I'm like, I want the young, hot Dennis Quaid shirtlet. I'm not like follow grandma and Michael Caine around. No, so I was very much like, I guess it's fine, whatever. Now, what I did not at the time kind of key into, and now when I see it, when we rewatched it for this podcast, the biggest critical kind of hits this movie takes is this whole thing of like the implausibility of this psychic connection she has and the mystical quality of this movie, and kind of trying to be like an 80s horror movie, where I feel like those elements were not at the forefront. She had some strange feelings, but you can just kind of attribute those to PTSD,
post-traumatic stress,
and just being like, hey,
There is a bit of that. I mean, it's like I see the film. There is a point when it completely, well, not so much jumps the shark, but it just kind of just goes off the rails and it never kind of gets back on. But I think there's a moment when near the beginning after the opening scene, and she's on the barge when they're going across the water and that. And 1 minute she's laughing and 1 minute she's crying. He's like, yeah, that's kind of relatable in terms of like the instant grief she's probably feeling.
Right.
So to a point you can explain it, but then at some point you just got to say, I think she's a bit.
So the main premise, and I think the biggest sin or mistake or what have you, is this idea that Ellen has in her head. Right. Okay. Her husband has this history with sharks. Now, he was not killed at the end of Jaws 2, and it is implied, or it is stated in this movie, that he has a heart attack, I believe, in between, off screen. And even Michael is like, the shark didn't kill Dad. And she's like, no, but it was like his nerves or whatever. Like the shark like broke him, essentially, and it drove him to an early grave, right? Mm. So now in her head, the youngest son, the beginning of this movie, is brutally murdered by this shark.
Crazy.
Killed by this shark.
It's horrible. It's honestly, when I watched it a couple of nights ago, it's still so visceral.
Yes.
Did the shark set this trap for him?
So here's the thing. So this is the thing. It was two different sharks in Jaws 1 and Jaws 2, right? It is a different shark in Jaws 3. And so even if Ellen, even if Ellen is like, no, bitch, all the sharks under the sea in all of Atlantica have come together, and mighty Poseidon is like, go for the Brody family, like kill them all. What? It's not. There is no. Is it the mom shark from Jaws? How to make it make sense, Alan?
The fandom thinks that basically that it's the male in Jaws, or it's the female. It's and vice versa, Jaws 2, and then this is the offspring, because at the end of the Jaws 2 novelization, or in some sort of timeline, the shark is believed to have been pregnant.
Okay.
So I don't know if that all maps together, and maybe someone's going to call me out on it, but that's my understanding of this batshit crazy thing.
I mean, at least that's some sort of through line, because otherwise, if you don't know that, you're just like, why? It was different sharks. Like now it's, and the whole tagline of This Time It's Personal, that's all from the marketing campaign. But I feel like if you did not watch the trailers or the TV spots where they say, or the poster that says, This Time It's Personal, it's hard to make that connection, at least for me, of like, it's the shark coming for you. I guess the idea that it...
dots going there.
Yeah. And then I guess it follows her to the Bahamas. It's the same shark that killed Sean.
Yes.
Is the one that's terrorizing the Bahamas now? Okay.
The shark set the trap.
Yeah.
Of this like log near this buoy.
Okay. I would like to talk briefly about the timeline jump. Do we care as viewers? These children in Jaws 1 in 1975 are small children.
Yeah. And
a mere 11, 12 years later, they are full-grown adults with jobs.
I mean, yeah, because I think Michael says at one point, we're almost PhDs. And I'm like, doesn't that take years?
Yeah. And then the other brother's a cop. He was like 4 in the first movie. He should be maybe 20 by this movie. Maybe 20 by this movie. And he's like, sheriff. Okay. All right. I guess
there might have been a bit of nepotism going on there with him getting that job, actually. Because you can see a picture of Martin Brody in the background. It's like, yeah, they've clearly given him the job because of his dad.
There you go. Nepo baby. All right. That's fine.
We were both gagged at the little cameos at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, my gosh.
Of who's over at Ellen's house. I mean, here's the thing about kind of movies today is that I think that people give legacy sequels a really hard time at being too pandering to an audience.
Fan service.
Yeah. But, Mama, they were doing this in 1987. Why are those two over at this house? We're talking about the woman that owns the hotel. I don't think that's funny at all.
Mrs.
Taft. Yeah. And the mother of the little boy.
Mrs. Kittner.
Mrs. Kittner. Why are they there?
Well, the thing is, with the way it's to kind of explain, saying this is like really nerdy shit. is that Mrs. Taft and Alan, when they're walking out of, when Alan's walking out with Sean and his wife-to-be, and they're talking about getting a Christmas tree, they're walking out of Alan's place of work, and she owns a real estate company with Mrs. Taft. So they're close friends. God knows what Mrs. Kintner's doing there.
Crazy.
I feel like there might have been a bit of, I don't know, bit of reconnaissance and or whatever the phrase is after what happened in the first one. I don't know. But Lee Fierro, who plays it, she was a lovely lady. She died in 2020, I believe, of COVID, unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
But she used to do tours around Martha's Vineyard of the shooting locations at both films.
Oh, wow. Okay. And I mean, Mrs. Taft, Fritzy Jane Courtney.
She's the most 70s looking woman
that tan
to have ever lived.
That tan in the first movie. Crazy. Now, but she's also in Jaws 2, I believe, right? Yeah, she's in Jaws 2. So it's like they're there. They live on Amity Island, you know.
And were they local finds of the first movie? Because I know that they famously, when they cast a lot of those background actors, featured extras, like they were casting around Martha's Vineyard. Yeah,
I mean, I'm not sure about Fritzy. Did you say your name was? Sorry.
Yes, yeah. Fritzy.
Fritzy. I'm not sure about Fritzy, but Lee Fierro was definitely a native of Edgartown, basically, where it was filmed, because she used to be a drama school teacher, and basically, so she had a little bit of a background in acting, which was the reason she auditioned. And then when they went back there to do the filming, there was obviously a lot of like cold auditions, essentially. But then they were like, "You want to come back?" Because they had to woo the town that production did to basically, massage the ego a little bit. So they were like putting on things that like, offers in like the local restaurants. They did a screening there when it was just about to get released for like all the people who starred in it, like all the cameos. So they did actually look after them in that sense. Because they were only there 6 days when they were filming. But that's where kind of Lee came back into it, and I'm guessing Fritzy as well.
I mean, I guess I'm into it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was gagged seeing them. First off, when
they were surprised.
Yeah. First off, when we saw Fritzy, I was like, oh, that's Tan Mom from the first movie. That's cool. They brought her back. Then when I saw Mrs. Kintner, I was gagged. I was like, oh, so she's just palsy-walsy now with
I mean, they both have experienced loss, Pete.
I guess this is true. They both lost people to the shark. So that was crazy. But, I mean, we should talk about Lorraine Gary, and Scott and I have both been calling her Lorraine Gray in our heads
my entire life.
It's our undiagnosed / diagnosed dyslexia.
I also want to call it Amityville and not Amity.
Amity Island.
Amity Island.
Right. It means friendship. Mm-hmm. It is not Amityville. That is a different movie. Lorraine Gary playing Ellen Brody in this film. When you read about the whole backstory and all of this, who is she married to at the time?
It's Sid Sheinberg, who was the president of Universal.
Yeah. Wild.
I think she's really good in a lot of these movies, especially the first one. I think that she's very well cast in the 1975 movie. Mm-hmm. I totally buy that entire relationship of her and Roy. I think they do some really good work as like a married couple.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with I mean, obviously the story of the second one is basically that they Sid basically stepped in to basically say she didn't have enough to do in the second one, so they filmed extra scenes to put her into the film a bit more. I think she went on to the boat when they found one of the kids in Jaws 2, and then when obviously Revenge comes around, obviously Sid is at Universal, and he's looking for a project, but he'd seen Aliens basically, and this time it's war was the tagline for Aliens, and then it comes around for Jaws: The Revenge, and he basically pitches it to Lorraine, obviously as his wife, and she's not fully sold. She hasn't acted in a few years. I think the last thing she did properly was 1941, the Spielberg film, which I've never seen.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of
supposed to be not good.
Yeah, we've not seen.
Yeah, I've heard it's bad, but curious to maybe take it out one day after a couple of drinks. But but he sold it to her in the November of '86, and they were filming by January. So the turnaround for it was just wild.
Yeah.
The production notes on Wikipedia are very extensive. This was a very troubled production that they kind of knew the ship was sinking as they were making the movie. Like, they knew that, like, they had a movie with a lot of
they have a thin
problems.
They have a thin premise. And, okay, I definitely, when we were rewatching this, I was like, okay, they saw aliens. We've got the granddaughter with, oh my God, when I saw that it was Judith Barcy, I was like, oh no, I'm going to be sad this whole movie now. That poor little Judith Barcy. We'll talk about her in a minute, but definitely as soon as the whole banana boat, like all of this stuff, and she's just like, all right, that's it. And she takes off. I'm like, okay, this is definitely giving me Ripley vibes. You know, I see what they're doing, but it was definitely on a budget. She didn't.
It's just that line though, when she's on the boat, and then I think he says, "Why did you go off?" And she goes, "There was nothing else to do."
Yeah. Well, I mean,
did you want a montage of her like getting ready?
I was like, she just gets on this boat and goes out into the sea. I'm like, she doesn't take anything with her. There's no grenades or knives or guns.
You want like a big harpoon gun?
I wanted the Ellen Ripley moment of just like suiting up with something. I'm like, what is the plan?
I mean, she's got her shoulder pads on.
Those shoulder pads, I was like, damn,
fierce.
Mama, you're in this ocean with like, you don't need a life vest. You're good to go.
This entire
shoulder pads
character arc for Ellen Brody is wild. Of the amount of time that this movie takes place. Let's say this movie takes place second week of December. Like we're kind of building up to Christmas. Right. She loses her youngest son to this shark.
Yes.
Her other son comes to visit, convinces her, you need to move on and just come to the Bahamas with me. They're in the Bahamas, and I guess that they're with Mario Van Peebles and his wife on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And she's having like her Under the Tuscan Sun like reawakening with Michael Caine.
At this like Monte Carlo casino night, New Year's Eve party.
It's like, this woman just lost her son. Can you give her a little time?
It feels like as well, because of the way it's shot, when they have the funeral, it feels like that's the same day that he asks her to go to the Bahamas. Like, she has just buried her other son.
Yeah. It really feels like it's the same moment. The editing then is kind of interesting.
And then all the stuff with Michael Caine, crazy. Mm-hmm.
Listen, the legend of Michael Caine and making this movie, I mean, he has made it legendary, right? With his
loves to talk about it.
With the storytelling of, I've never seen the movie. It was a quick $1 million. I bought my mom this house. All this.
I got a free trip to the Bahamas. I won an Oscar during the making of the movie.
Right.
I think it was a bit myth, though, that he didn't actually get to receive said Oscar because they were still filming Just the Revenge.
Yeah. But, I have to say, everything about, this legendary Michael Caine performance in this movie, it makes it feel like he was in and out. He was there for 2 weeks, whatever. I feel like he's in a good portion of this movie. I don't feel like it's... I
think he describes it as a bit role.
He describes it as a bit role or even a cameo. I feel like he's he's definitely a main character.
Is he first billed?
Yes, he is first billed.
Yeah.
I believe so. I think he's above her.
I think he's and.
You think he's and? Okay.
It would make more sense if it was an and.
Yeah.
Michael Caine, one of those actors that I don't know a lot about the personal life of Michael Caine, but he strikes me as someone... Is he a little problematic?
I don't think so.
In the UK?
No.
Do I need to know, not look at the political beliefs of Michael Caine?
No.
On Wikipedia?
I'm not 100% sure on... I think there may have been a bit of slight leanings maybe towards the right, but I think we get that with all the older Brits actors now, like the John Cleese's and people like that.
Yeah.
So you just kind of have to
super into Brexit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but obviously he's like 90 odd now, so it's like, and I think I'm not sure if he's actually fully retired yet. He keeps coming back for like these odd little roles, but I mean, I saw him in this film. I think it was called The Great Escape, and he was wonderful in it. But I was like, he could barely move, and I was like, he shouldn't be out there, you know. And obviously, you see him in this, and he's so vibrant, and he's just kind of he's along for the ride. You can tell. I mean, obviously, he's in kind of almost like his paycheck era, essentially, because I think what people in the UK like with Michael Caine, it was like Italian Job, Get Carter, all that kind of stuff. You know, really big 70s-ish actor, 60s, 70s actor. But then he kind of had this very bumpy period until probably the late 90s when he did this film. I think it was called Shine, and that was almost like his comeback into like being into like a serious good role. And then obviously he gets the Batman films, and then he goes on from there. Yeah. But obviously around 87 he's doing all sorts. You know, his filmography in the 80s is a bit choice.
But I mean, made that movie with Woody Allen, Hannah and Her Sisters, and won the Oscar, and then ends up with another Oscar in 2000. I mean, one of those actors that was always I was always watching movies with Michael Caine as a kid. So one of those actors that everybody just kind of grew up on.
Yeah, I think in school we watched Educating Rita. I think that was one of his. Yeah, I don't know if that made it stateside. I think it was based on a book, something like that, and we had to watch it in school. And then that was one of the first time we'd seen like Michael Caine on screen, because we were a bit too young for like the Italian Job and the like, until obviously seeing it a few years later. But obviously with this, if you watched it with people who were a bit older, like say if it was like parents, grandparents, like one of my grandparents knew Michael Caine obviously from the Italian Job and would watch this with me because she knew Michael Caine. Yeah. And that was kind of the connection, really.
He's been married to his wife Shakira for over 50 years.
All right.
1973. Miss Guyana.
I always really appreciate he has nothing but wonderful things to say about making a Muppet Christmas Carol. So that it was one of his favorite movies he's ever made, as it should be.
Yes, the greatest Christmas film.
But, I feel like his involvement in this movie as not controversial, but I think maybe the bad press led him to just be like, who cares, whatever. Yeah. It's a paycheck film. It's fine. But yeah, I think it's like he's in it a lot more than I expected, because after all these years of like, oh, it was just, like I said, it's just a paycheck film, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh no, he's really there. He's a big part of this movie. And
I like to see Ellen Brody going out to have fun with him.
Yes. With an age appropriate.
Yeah. We get an older love story.
Yeah, it's nice for the two of them, and it's freaking Michael Caine. It's like, all right, that's a good get for her. I mean, yeah, like we were saying, Lorraine Gary hadn't made a film since 1941. When the heck was that movie made? 1979.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd been.
Is it the same year as Jaws 2? Is Jaws 2 79?
Jaws 2 78.
78. Okay. Do you know that Jaws 2, the first movie to ever have a number in the title for its sequel?
Oh.
I think that sequels were very limited at that time. I think that we only had The Godfather Part 2 as like major Hollywood sequels, but I think that Jaws 2 is the first movie with a number in the title for a sequel.
I suppose it would have sounded weird, Jaws Part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Godfather Part... Oh, okay, Part 2. Oh, Part 2. Godfather Part 2 is a Roman numeral.
Yeah.
Does it make a difference?
So it's like 2.
It's the number... Jaws number 2.
Yeah.
And this film, Jaws the Revenge, is not Jaws 4 the Revenge. It's just Jaws : The Revenge, which goes to your point, Paul, that it doesn't necessarily have to be Jaws 4.
Yeah.
It could just be...
I mean, everyone refers to it as Jaws 4.
Everybody does, yeah.
I mean, would studios just release this now as Jaws?
They would just call it Jaws, yeah.
Jaws 1987,
yeah. Which
you said was on the table.
Yeah, that's the original kind of script. It goes Jaws 87, Jaws the Return, then Jaws the Revenge. So almost like the reverse of Return of the Jedi when they flip them.
Right. Interesting. Okay, well, I would like to talk now a little bit about the Brody sons, Lance Guest as Michael Brody and Mitchell Anderson as Sean. Lance Guest, we know from The Last Starfighter and Halloween 2.
Mm-hmm.
Another, maybe it's a sequel, maybe it was wiped clean.
Oh, I have a little question about, maybe we'll just do it now.
Sure.
So, Paul, I know that you're a big horror buff. Can you name the connections between the Halloween movies and Jaws? So I have at least 3, and there might even be more.
So the guy who plays the deputy in Jaws and Jaws 2 was in Halloween 2. I think he was the mortician or something.
Jeffrey Kramer. Mm-hmm.
Jeffrey
He plays
Kramer,
Deputy
yeah.
Hicks in Jaws and Jaws 2, and is Officer Jules Ramsey in in Halloween 2. Mm-hmm.
Okay. God, what were the other ones?
And you're not just talking about cast; you're just talking about themes, elements.
Jaws and
There's
Halloween connections, and I mean,
interesting crossover.
and even just kind of
Like Halloween 78 or just Halloween in general?
Halloween in general. Yeah.
So stuntman Tom Morgan, who played Michael Myers in Halloween 4, before he got fired for George Bilbo, did stunts on George the Revenge.
Okay.
I'm also seeing a Dick Warlock stuntman in Halloween, and was Richard Dreyfuss's double when he was down in the cage in Jaws.
Yeah, because he's Michael Myers in Halloween too.
Yeah. And then, of course, we get Lance Guest as Jimmy in Jaws the Revenge, and Jimmy Lloyd in Halloween 2.
Jimmy Lloyd. Okay. And he's Michael Brody in Jaws the Revenge. Okay.
Yep.
Now, I love Lance Guest ever since I first saw him in The Last Starfighter. I think in the 80s...
Very cute.
Very dreamy. He's tall. He's got the curly brown hair and striking blue eyes.
Classic boy next door.
Yeah,
look.
yeah. And I think he works well. He's got a beard in this movie. He's giving he's giving grown adult butch man. I think he's doing a good job in this movie. And I know that Lance Guest is kind of very active in like the con circuit. So like you can go and like do meet and greets and get a photo and all that. So he's very active in that. And I love when actors from, this era are cool with it, and going off and doing this stuff. So I think he was a good choice for this role. Again, would have loved to see Dennis Quaid out there again in, shirtless maybe in a wetsuit, but we got.
I think Lance is the grounding of the film, though, in the sense that I know it's a wild film, but Lance is the one. He's almost like the straight man, isn't he? Where everyone else is a bit batshit.
Yes.
In their own little moments, he's the one who's kind of like straight and narrow. Hoagie's out there, Jake's out there, Alan's out there. Yeah.
Yeah, Jake, his
wife, his wife is angry, horny, all of the above.
Oh my gosh.
Was Mario Van Peebles having a moment in the mid-'80s?
Yes, absolutely.
Was he kind of the it boy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember Mario Van Peebles kind of being like, okay, his father was this kind of not exploitation, but kind of underground
cult director,
black cult film director, and Mario is like this up and coming actor, and he wasn't
very handsome.
Yes, absolutely. Mario Van Peebles does not have a Caribbean accent in real life.
No, and there's a funny story about this as well, because basically when they were filming in Nassau, when they were filming in the Bahamas, he actually was he got a complaint from the tourism board that they thought that his portrayal of somebody from the Bahamas would be deemed offensive and affect the economy. So he basically had to fight them on it, and obviously he won.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, he's out there sounding like Hermes Conrad from Futurama. I was like, my man-witch. Oh, he even looked like him. But it is interesting because Michael, they're there. They're marine biologists. They're PhD candidates. They've got this grant that's a new grant to go out there. They got a boat, all this stuff. They are studying conch and migration. Okay.
Yeah, what exactly are they doing?
Yeah, they got to. Yeah, they're just out there looking at these mollusks
on the seafloor. We were very fascinated with that machine that Lance Guest gets in. It's essentially just like getting him from point A to point B. I don't know.
Oh, the weird submarine.
The weird submarine.
It's like this. The little it's like a Vespa submarine.
And at one point, like the top is open underwater.
Yeah.
Too. So I
think
know.
the bottom's open. I think it's just a shell or something. I don't know.
I don't know how they're.
He gets out, doesn't he? But I think he gets out at the top, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know how they're talking to each other.
It's a little sequence.
As he's diving.
Okay, listen.
I mean, I get this movie is not directed by Jim Cameron.
Yes, because he is scuba diving and talking at the same time. Now, I'm not scuba certified, but I believe you do need to have something in your mouth to help you breathe. So, whether...
And they're not wearing the crazy suits that they're wearing in The Abyss.
Movie magic. Yeah, because in The Abyss, they're essentially wearing like spacesuits. It's a full helmet over their head so the actors can talk. But Jim Cameron had this kind of sci-fi thing developed that would be way too expensive for underwater welders to require. They just scuba dive. So they just needed it for the movie so that they can speak and act, right? But in this, it's just like, who cares? Voiceover, he's talking. We're down and dirty. We're shooting. So I know that Sean Brody gets killed off very early in the movie, but he is played by out gay actor Mitchell Anderson.
Oh,
yes.
You better work. I love that.
I don't know.
Where did I know this actor from?
I don't know that he was out in 1987, but he is now. I knew him, and again, I'm older than the two of you. I knew him from Doogie Howser, MD. He was a recurring medical doctor or med student on Doogie Howser.
He was in the Karen Carpenter story.
He was in
looks like, yeah.
He hasn't been in a lot. He's mostly a TV guy, and I think he does a lot of stage work. But I thought he was very handsome in this movie, very good looking, and to me that says good on you. But I think it's kind of he's a sheriff in Amity, and like he's taking over the mantle for his dad.
I want them to be in Amity longer in the movie. Yeah. Like I want it to be more than the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's whether that's they thought that they were setting it apart, just having that sequence there, because I suppose with it being the winter, and apparently it was a really brutal winter when they were filming there as well in January, February of '87. Whether having a shot there would have worked, I don't know. I mean, the funny story about the whole attack thing was that basically they did obviously some of it on the sound stage, and obviously you see the boat sink at the when the attack's over, but the boat actually started sinking for real with Mitchell Anderson in the boat on the sound stage, and he was like, "Are you gonna come and help me? I'm not that I'm guessing he would drown, but obviously the boat was sinking with him in.
Well, yeah,
so it's like, come on."
Yeah. And they're like, acting. What a great job.
Yeah. I mean, this is all giving very Jaws the ride at Universal.
It really felt like that.
Which I don't think I've ever actually done. Jaws the ride.
We didn't do it
at Universal
when we were there last. We did not do it.
Well, I don't think it was there.
Oh, was it gone already?
I think it's been gone for a number of years.
It's been gone about 5-10 years from now.
Yeah.
Okay, then it was gone when we were there, and I had never been, so I had not gone on. We've done the Universal Hollywood, but it's not a proper ride. It's just a little viewing.
I love the Jaws section of the Universal Tram Tour.
Well, we love it because it's Cabot Cove.
It's Cabot Cove from Murder, She Wrote. Mm-hmm. You remember that one time we drove by on the tram and it was drained?
Oh, barely.
Yeah, it was drained.
Yeah,
so you could see that whole space without water in it.
Yeah. Well, also another portion of this movie that was filmed in the tank was the final battle. You can see the wall behind them of clouds.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's rippling.
Yeah. See it. Yes. That was that's the Truman Show. That's like the big shot at the end of the Truman Show. That's the same tank.
Well, the funny thing was as well is that when they were filming that, when they had a bit of downtime, Lance Guest and Mario Van Peebles were hopping on the bus rides that were taking people around the studio, and just messing with people.
Oh,
obviously, they might not know they were filming the film, but obviously, Mario just thought it was a lot of fun, and Lance went along with it.
I mean, you hear about that.
Rosie has stories about making the Flintstones movie and just getting on the tram. In costume.
Yeah. I mean, we've had our share of annual passes for Universal, and we've done that tram ride.
I say
a lot of times.
It's one of my favorite things to do in the city of Los Angeles.
It's so fun.
Is the tram ride. It's like, it is classic Hollywood.
Yeah.
And if I just have like a beer, like I'm ready to go.
Yes, because it is not Disney. You are allowed to take beer.
You can take alcohol around the park,
ride,
and you can sit with the beer on the tram.
Yeah, they don't care. All bets are off. Just as long as you don't stand up, you're fine. So, yeah, I mean, my mom has stories of being on the tram at Universal Studios and seeing like not Mr. T, but A-Team actors like shooting, and they came up to the tram and like waved and signed stuff. I was like, what?
I think George Papard.
I think it was George Papard, and it was the one from Battlestar Galactica.
Okay.
Yeah. Face. who was also Starbuck in Battlestar Galactica. But yeah, we love Universal Studios. We go as often as we can. We
Jaws
don't have passes
staple
anymore, but the Jaws portion
staple of the tram ride
of the tram is really fun. And yeah, I was definitely, like you said, when in Sean's death scene, the way the boat was sinking and all that, it very much felt like that portion. Maybe a little homage there. But okay, so we talked briefly about Carla Brody, Michael's wife, played by Karen Young, and she's like this like visual artist. She makes like sculpture that's vaguely still don't know what it is, but
do you think it looks shark inspired?
I was gonna say, to Ellen's eyes, it's like vaguely shark jaw adjacent. I don't know if that's the intention of Carla, but I could see, like, for the purpose of the movie, being like, oh, I get it. It's a little sharky. It's a little scary. But yeah, her relationship with Michael is crazy.
Their fight that they get when they're taking out the trash.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, this like scenes of a marriage. I'm just like, all right.
Yeah.
It's just taking out the trash. You can calm down.
He looks dangerously close to that welding like thing.
That whole dynamic is wild too.
Let's fuck in my welding shed. And she's pointing her,
like, is it like a welding gun? Do they?
Yeah,
like,
I don't know what it's called.
I don't know what it's called. I mean, it's a tattoo gun. Like, is it like a welding gun?
Not. It's a tattoo machine.
Machine.
Any tattoo artist will laugh in your face if you call it a gun.
Okay.
Yeah. But aren't you supposed to be wearing like?
I was nervous of just me looking at the screen during that scene.
Yeah.
Of that, is this good for my eyes to even be looking at this?
It's shot in a way that it looks like Lance Guest is inches from that flame. So whatever the angle, they did a really good job. I was nervous. But
where do I know Karen Young from?
I don't know. But I mean, their daughter is Thea. She's what, 5? Around that age. So they're a young couple. They can still throw down.
Oh, she's in The Sopranos. She's one of the FBI agents in The Sopranos. Okay, this is where I know this actress from.
Okay.
Yeah. She also was in the Stallone film Daylight, if you've seen that.
Oh, okay, okay.
Is it the tunnel, I think?
Yeah.
In like the mid-90s. But I think that's about it, really.
Yeah. And Judith Barcy, who we mentioned, who plays Thea, she was mostly a voice actress.
I always know her from All Dogs Go to Heaven and The Land Before Time.
Yeah. Ducky in The Land Before Time. And is she the main girl in All Dogs Go to Heaven?
Yeah.
So Don Bluth movies. She was a child actor, and she unfortunately passed away in 1988 at the age of 10.
Very sad story.
Yeah, it's a very sad story, and that's why when we saw her, I was like, "Ooh, yikes! This is going to be a sad one." But so I mean, she was born in 78, so and she looked young in this movie, so they probably shot this in 86, maybe.
They shot it early 87.
Oh,
the production period of this movie was that it shot January of 87, and this was out by July.
Okay, so she's about 8 years old, but she looked younger. But what do we think of the homage scenes to the first film?
Oh, I used to love them as a kid because it's like, it's the original Jaws. Oh, I love the scene in
like
Jaws.
the scene at the table when she's like imitating him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
is it a bit much to recreate it for a movie?
I think it's more like it gets wilder later when she's on about scenes. Well, she's seen scenes that she wasn't there for, but I think the one with Thea and Michael is actually quite cute, and so, because they are both playing it straight in the sense that Lance Guest is there and she's just like. She's like that 80s child, almost like a prototype in the sense that she's probably got a bit too much to say. She talks back to her parents a lot, but she's obviously quite sweet. But obviously when she's put in like mortal danger, you do kind of feel for her a bit.
No, absolutely. It is a very like prototype kid actor, and it's like, I've got a tea set. We're gonna go have tea. It's like, all right, calm down. But I was, as a kid, because of this movie. I mean, maybe I should have been put off to them, but I was fascinated with that banana boat situation.
Same.
I was like, I would love to ride on that.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of put me off a little bit.
I was going to say, I'm sure it should have put me off of them, but I was very much like, are you getting towed by this boat? How fun. That looks like a lot of fun. Also, they're just in the background, but those giant, like, tricycle, those big wheels that float in the they're like,
I must have missed that.
You didn't see them?
No.
In the banana boat scene, there are these things that they're tricycles. They have 3 wheels and one person sitting like a bicycle and a seat, but the wheels are like 4 foot tall and they float on top of the water. Yeah, I'm surprised both of you didn't notice them.
No, I missed it.
Yeah, because they look so fucking cool. They almost look like tractor wheels because they've got tread on them, but they're plastic. And they're like bright colors, like yellow and red or something. And they're in the background of that scene with the banana boat being towed. There's like 1 or 2 of them off to the side. And I swear I'm not making this up. Listeners, look them up. They are a thing. I wanted to ride one ever since then. But at any rate, I still want to ride in a banana boat if they even exist anymore. But
it's very it's a brutal sequence. I know that they had like a stunt lady doing it who was, I think she'd been in one of the Jason films actually, and but the whole way it's kind of set up, it's like it's like. I find that, and I know the film is like a bit outrageous, but I find the reactions to what's going on actually quite genuine. Like her mother is like, she's losing her shit, and she's screaming, she's flapping around, and it's it's like, yeah, you would be, because there's nothing you can do. You are literally helpless. You're at the mercy of like a big fish.
No, that scene is crazy, and that poor stunt woman. First of all, we got to talk about this shark. The actual shark that's in this movie.
The shark
right?
that at the end of the movie roars.
Well, it's got like this electromagnetic battery inside of its throat that Lance Guest is like...
Do you think sharks have vocal cords, though?
I don't think so.
No.
I think this roar is apocryphal. But this shark, the texture, when there's close-ups on it, the texture of it... I know shark skin is very thick and coarse, and... it's almost scaly in its texture and its nature. It's almost like toothy the way its skin. It's like when there's like close-ups, microscopic close-ups of shark skin, it almost looks like toothy. Like there's small scales on it. So if you run your hand one way, it's smooth. And if you run your hand the other way, it's coarse, right? But on the close-up shots of this shark that like swims by the camera, it looks like it's made of concrete. It looks like it is made of a very hard material. And this stunt woman is inside this shark, this mechanical monstrosity. She's inside of it. So is Mario Van Peebles' stuntman at the end of the movie. That looks extremely uncomfortable / painful.
Yeah, especially because you can see Mario Peebles' stunt performer underwater with it, too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's pulling him down, and completely under the water. Yeah, that it looks scary. So yeah, this shark, it's successful sometimes, and then other times it just looks a little. Like,
I mean, you can really see that struggle with when they were making the original Jaws movie. They always talk about how they could hold on the shark for only a couple seconds because if it was a mere frames more, it looked bad. That like you could only realistically show it for a couple moments, and you'd have to cut away.
Yeah, what do we think of the chase through the like sunken ship?
The chase was getting you when watching it. Mm-hmm.
I love the chase because it does actually have one really good shot. And I know there's the ridiculous part where if you see a certain cut, you can see the wires and the hydraulics, but there's one shot where it's above him. Yeah. When it swims above him, and I find that shot utterly terrifying because if you are stuck in a shipwreck and that swims above you, you're thinking you ain't getting out.
Yeah.
Or not alive anyway. But the rest of it's kind of ridiculous and kind of fun.
I mean, it's giving a Little Mermaid, but like, mm-hmm. This came out first, so who's copying who? But and when he like uses his oxygen tank to like jet up to the surface from the bottom, I was like, oh, he's got the bends. I don't know. He wasn't down that deep, but Yeah, I know. I don't know. I think this convenient shipwreck is, a little convenient, but I think it was.
Oh, yeah. I think it's still there.
Oh.
I think it's still there, like in this hour, along with the plane from the end.
But I agree. I think it was a tense scene, and I think it was well done. I do want to mention at this Monte Carlo casino night New Year's Eve party.
My favorite scene of the movie.
I do like the scene when Michael and Ellen are having their little dance, little quiet moment to like talk and stuff. And she's just like, she does say something that it's like, she says like, Sean was just killed. I don't think I'll ever get over. Like she's having kind of a real moment with him about her kind of mental state and all this stuff. And she's like, all right, I know it wasn't intentional. That's crazy. But it's a nice scene between the two of them.
I think it's a little bit annoying, though, in the sense that basically she goes over and has this, she goes over Michael Caine, she starts having a dance, and then you can count the seconds before Lance Guest gets up and basically cock blocks Michael Caine because he doesn't want his mum to be like, in another relationship that I'm guessing isn't his father, who's been dead for how many years? Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, it's unclear how long. Yeah. But I do have to mention that while Michael and Ellen are dancing, the song in the background is "You Got It All" by the Jets, which was released in 1985. This was a huge hit in the States. I don't know how big the Jets were.
I don't really remember
in the UK.
Song at all.
It was 1985.
Yeah.
When it was released. This movie was 1987. And what my thing is, the Jets in the mid to late 80s had a huge moment, a very big impact, and then they disappeared, right? And nobody talked about them again. The thing about the Jets is that they were a family group. There was like 9 or 10 of them. They were all siblings, and they were Tongan, right?
Oh, interesting.
Yes. And in their video, they all played instruments or sang or danced, and they had a handful of hits. They had like 2 albums, big hits. They were all over the radio, and I lived in Los Angeles, so it's not just like, oh, it was like regional. No, like they were in LA, they were on MTV, huge hits, great songs, and then they disappeared.
Yeah, I don't ever remember really growing up listening to any of them on the radio.
They would have been passed by the time you were like, a kid. And the other thing about them, they were a Tongan family, bunch of kids, but they were from like the Midwest, and they were Mormon.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you kind of get some Jackson 5.
Yeah. So it's not even that they were
a little bit.
That they were like the South Pacific Polynesian like cross. No, they were from like Minneapolis, and they were Mormons. And
I mean, it's kind of like the Jackson 5 raised Jehovah.
Yes.
Yep.
And they were very like family friendly, They were like boys and girls because they were all siblings, but they were kind of like not conservative, but kind of conservative in their dress and their songs, cute songs. But I think people of a certain age, I feel like older millennials or younger Gen X people, Zennials, kind of in their middle 40s, remember them now, and every now and then the songs will come back, and it's like, oh yeah, that was the Jets, they were the shit, and then they were just gone. Yeah,
I mean, they got a big moment of Jaws Revenge at the New Year's party.
That song started playing last night, and I sang every word. I remembered it all. So yeah.
The weird thing was, like years later, I remember I think I got or I'd listened to the first Britney Spears album, and Britney Spears does a cover of this song I think, on that album.
Oh, we'll have to track that down.
I did not know that.
I'm sure it's either Baby One More Time or Oops, I Did It Again.
Wow.
I'm sure she does a cover of this song because I'd heard it and I was like, where? And I didn't join the dots for years, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, bring it up.
Look that up. I mean, I don't know if I'm not looking on iTunes, but oh yeah, look at that. You got it all. There's a video. Huh. Crazy. We'll find the song and maybe pipe it in. But we always get dinged for that when these go to YouTube. Yeah. But I'm gonna look that up because I'm fascinated. I love that song. And listeners, if you're not familiar with the Jets, well, you might be if you hear some of the songs. Thank you for this
little history of the Jets.
Yeah, this is your Jets history moment. They were a big deal. So, anyway, back to the show.
I was looking up what this movie opened against. This movie was released the same day as RoboCop. And RoboCop and a re-release of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs ate this movie for lunch at the box office.
Yeah, I can imagine. This is what Aquacycles look like. If you didn't. So those are in the background, and those look like a lot of fun.
It looks safer than the banana boat.
Yeah, they kind of do. They're not as big as I remember them being. They look a little. I was painting them as being these gigantic monstrosities, but
it might be a little harder for Jaws.
They're essentially paddle
to
boats.
Eat you off of an aquacycle.
Yeah, because he'd have to eat through all that hard plastic.
Eat a wheel.
Yeah, I don't know. This Jaws could eat straight through boats. There was that first moment when he started eating the boat, and they were just standing there staring at it, like, "Look at that! How can you beat that? This shark is eating this boat." They're just not moving. It was before the underwater chase. It was like the first moment that they saw the shark. He took a bite out of whatever boat they were on, and they were just kind of standing there like, huh.
It was really funny though, because it was kind of, and then one of them just goes, "Jesus Christ."
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. These guys, I don't know. They're just kind of making this up as they go along. But, I guess we all would be like, none of them are shark experts.
Them trying to tag the shark. It's like, are you trying to murder it?
That weird, trident spear thing that they were stabbing it with.
Which that spear that you're tagging it can't hang on that long to the shark.
I think those, I don't know.
I mean, when they tag them, when they tag them in the wildlife reel, they usually try and tag them around like a fin or something, just something they can kind of hook it around. When they're like studying them to see how they travel and all this kind of stuff. But the way that they did it, obviously, was a bit more. I think it was in it. Was it in its side? I think, or something like that.
Yeah, it was just right in the side, like right by its gills. But they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Whenever I watch these movies, I always just kind of wander onto a great white shark's Wikipedia page, and they're very fascinating.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Sharks are kind of crazy creatures. They do mention in this movie that the Bahamas is warm water, and so they don't usually travel there. How true that is.
So I was looking on the Wikipedia, and this is they have the range of a great white shark, and it's not in the blue range, it's in the yellow range, and it's what does it say?
Possibly extant.
So you could find them there.
So it's possible that they would be there. They're only not extant in the poles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's too cold.
Yeah, but everywhere else they're like, okay, it's possible. You
also, one of those species that controls its own population, because I believe males will eat eggs.
Scary.
And they do it for like a population control, because I don't think that great white sharks want too many of them roaming the oceans.
Yeah, I think because I think they always say about them being rogue predators. Obviously, if you do see them together occasionally, but they tend to hunt alone, basically.
Every once in a while, they'll end up on KTLA of a great white just kind of hanging out by the coast, by one of the popular beaches. That they'll just be a great white just hanging out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think with drones now as well, that you're seeing them more often. Like you always see the like on TikTok and wherever else now, these videos of people who are surfing or on boats or whatever, and then about a few hundred yards away, there's just a shark, just like la 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 la, just like swimming along, having some business until whatever.
Yeah. Now I've never had that fear of like deep sea ocean creatures. My fear of the ocean is getting swept away.
Yeah, I'm afraid of drowning in the ocean.
I wouldn't want to be swept.
That's why I don't like to go too far into the ocean.
At the beach,
when we're at the beach, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to be swept in and not be able to get out. But I'm not really like... Yeah, I'm not really like, oh, this deep sea creature is gonna like eat me. I mean, there's creatures in the ocean. It's the ocean. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I feel like, oh no, this riptide will drag me under, and I will never return, because that's the real possibility. I mean, I'm sure sharks eating you is a real possibility too. But okay, so let's see. I think we got through most of the cast that are worth talking about. I do want to say. Jake's girlfriend, I think, Louisa, played by Lynn Whitfield, is strikingly beautiful. I was like, oh my God, this woman is
she a model?
Like, I think she's an actress mostly. I don't know.
Looks like she's done some. Looks like she's done some Tyler Perry movies.
She won an Emmy in the '90s for a Josephine Baker TV movie.
It's like she's in Eve's Bayou.
I remember that was her big thing. When
her and Mario Van Peebles were very horny for each other.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, it's like everyone's kind of horny. Like, Carla's flicking her knickers at Michael, and she's like, don't go weak at the knees at me. You're going to need all the strength you got. And like, this is in front of like Ellen, and then.
That was
Carla's
crazy. Talking
about a sex life with Alan's son with Alan, and I'm like, do people do this? Do people? No, don't do that.
That was crazy. I know she was referring to like, Ellen and Hoagie, and Ellen saying like, oh, I thought that part of my life was gone or whatever. And when she's like, oh, well, I thought I'd have a healthy sex life like as long as I can. It's like you're talking about her son. Craziness. But yeah, also Hoagie is like, he's hot to trot. He's wooing Ellen as much as he can. He's like ready to get her into bed.
Yeah, the Bahama Mamas are flowing, and he's just going for it. I mean, and he's flying after that as well.
Yeah, crazy. I love it. I loved all the the blue screen shots of them like flying this plane. I was like, oh, great 80s blue screen.
This is a pretty little plane.
Yes. Now, we were talking about when the plane lands in the water.
Oh, my God. That scene was stressing me out. It's like, oh, so you're just junking this entire plane then.
Yeah.
That plane is not coming out.
But, like, our thing, and Scott knows this from experience, float planes exist.
I grew up going on a lot of float planes as a kid.
Planes that land on the water are a thing.
So why can't you just write it in that
Hoagie
he has a float plane,
flies a float plane,
which are definitely a thing in the Bahamas because there's a lot of water.
It would make so much sense.
It would make more sense if it was a float plane because he would probably get more work as a pilot.
But the whole thing is it crashing and you thinking that he dies, and then he just swims up.
Yeah, that's the part that I always remember from my childhood because my nan used to be in hysterics laughing at it when he just goes, bloody hell, the breath on that thing, and it's like, even at that age you can't really explain. It's like, yeah, just roll with it, it's fine.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
this poster is wild,
is crazy. At least in the poster, she's holding a spear.
Mm-hmm.
At least she's got the spear, like, I'm going to fucking kill this thing myself. In this movie, it's just like, I'm going to go out and greet it and what?
Yeah, she gets on the boat with nothing.
Throw yourself into its mouth? Like, what do you
want?
Plan?
You want, like, a montage like in the Dream Warriors? Or no, like in the Dream Master?
Yes.
Where Alice is, like, suiting up to go fight Freddy.
I need her to cover herself in barbed wire. I don't know. What did she do? Wrap the bow of the ship in barbed wire? Something. I want her to do something. But she's just like, what is she? What? Yeah. There was nothing else to do, or what was the line? Like,
yeah. I had to do it. There was nothing else to do. It's like, well, to be fair, retired. Well, maybe not retired, but like, on vacation, traumatic incident. What else is there to do?
What else is there to do? We gotta buy something. Yeah, craziness, Ellen. But I mean, at this point, she's out of her mind. She's just like, got everybody else in my life. It's going for my granddaughter.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the two endings?
Oh, well, yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So as we're finishing the movie,
and this movie has a famously bad ending. That whenever people kind of dunk on this movie, people always talk about the shark roaring and then exploding.
Right. And what we didn't realize, or what we realized, and as we were watching it, this crazy, because we have a DVD version of this, We didn't stream it or rent it or anything. We purchased a DVD set of Jaws 2 and 4.
2, 3, and 4.
2, 3, and 4. That's right.
3 and 4 are on the same disc.
On the same disc. You choose which movie at the beginning. That's the only menu. Choose which movie, and then it just plays. We bought this like discount bargain DVD probably.
This was like a Best Buy
Buy exclusive or something.
Yeah.
So that's how we have it. So that's the way we watched it. And in our version, the bow, the big pointy stick thing at the end of the ship is like broken off. And she's like, all right, I got it. This bitch is like breaching. He's coming out of the water. I'm going to ram it. Okay, great. This is the plan. Finally, we got something.
And it's kind of reflecting the scenes with Brody in the original too.
She's thinking back to these things, but as you mentioned, she wasn't there.
Yeah, maybe he told her about the way it went down. Maybe that's the connection. I don't know. I'm reaching a bit, but
he recounted the smile, you son of a bitch, like all of that, and she's seeing it. So as it pierces the shark explodes like a balloon. But like a balloon, like nothing happens. Like it just kind of pops.
And the footage is very weird too.
Choppy editing.
Some of it seems like stills.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a really the way they did it originally. They did it with miniatures originally, and the director saw them and hated them. So I think the other ending where it's just kind of like it gets stuck in the bowsprit in the side and then falls over in the ocean and dies. Falls over.
Yeah,
it dies in the ocean. Is kind of like they're kind of trying to write that, because I think there's a shot where it's kind of like upright, and that's the miniature. And then when it's going to the bottom, I think that's the miniature as well. But he notoriously hated that. So obviously the idea was to try and do it with the bigger models to, these results.
So we looked it up on YouTube, and the original ending is there. And we thought it looked better.
I think the original ending is better.
The miniature worked. Yeah. I thought it worked. And we watched it on a TV. Maybe on a big screen it looked worse.
And this was in movie theaters, and they had changed it for the home video release then.
That's
right.
According to Wikipedia, that's what it said.
Yeah. Yeah, they were basically kind of reshooting the ending as the film was in cinemas to obviously have that alternative version. So when the home release come out, they could kind of switch it up a little bit.
Yeah. We also read that in the original version, and it showed when we watched it on YouTube, Jake does not live.
I don't know how you could live from that.
No, and for years, that's the version that I saw, that Jake was dead, and it actually has a bit more of an impact because there's a bit more, it adds a bit more stakes and all this kind of stuff. But obviously the kind of ending that exists with Jake living, again, basically, he tested really well with test audiences.
Sure.
So when they were testing it, they basically got them back, and that was like part of this last minute reshoot. They were originally going to film in Malibu because I think Mario Van Peebles lived in Malibu at the time, and Joe Sargent basically wanted to go to Malibu, but they proved that I made them do it on the sound stage again, and that's where they got the ending where Jake kind of is resurrected.
Okay, we were just like, is it just his arms and a torso, and like both his legs are gone?
Yeah,
just underwater, we can't see it. We're like, how did he survive that?
Yeah, even he can't explain it, but I guess he's a bit delirious. I think he says, "Did he say I'm way too something for that?"
Oh yeah, he says lucky or something. Yeah, I don't know.
So when the BBC would show this, would it be the reshot ending or the original?
It was the one where Jake dies originally.
Okay, so it would have been the original.
It probably was. It probably isn't now. Like if it's screened now,
yeah.
I think it's basically almost been like mildly erased. Even though on every release, like on the DVD and the Blu-ray, they mostly have that alternative ending anyway. So you get the best of both worlds, really.
Yeah.
If, choose your own ending. I suppose.
Sure. Do you think it could have worked if the whole it followed me from Amity and it's just another shark? Like if it was just randomly, she's just like, okay, fuck this. My kid got eaten. I need to leave. Or even if just Ellen just decided to relocate. Listen, I'm tired of this island. there's
so this is
bad
like
juju
if
here.
one of the sons doesn't die
Yeah.
at the beginning then?
I just got to go. Like,
Okay.
this island is too much. I need to leave. But then it wouldn't be personal, so then she wouldn't have this like vendetta. I don't know.
Do you almost feel like they should have structured the sequels that they're all... I mean, this is probably how they would do it now, is they would all essentially do like a shark attack movie with something different in each movie. Would you have seen Orca as the follow-up for Jaws?
Oh, gosh.
I mean, which they clearly made an Orca movie that was ripping off Jaws.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, this is what we got, for better or for worse. I think upon our most recent viewing, I do think that it was watchable.
I think it's watchable.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think it was watchable.
Yeah.
It was fun. I think we'll watch it again. I don't think that this is like, oh, this is terrible. It's not even good in a fun. No, it's fun. It's it's got Michael Caine.
I was saying you could argue a lot of the Jurassic World movies are worse. Jurassic World Dominion, terrible.
I've never rewatched that, and I don't think I ever will. Whereas I can quite happily go back to Jaws: The Revenge with no guilt. Whereas Dominion, I'm like, that was 3 hours and that was rough.
Yeah. I think I agree.
This movie's a tight 90 minutes.
Yeah.
You're in and out. It packs a lot in those 90 minutes.
Yeah, it really does.
You get Ellen's fierce wardrobes.
Oh my gosh.
The shoulder pad moment, the hair, the glasses.
Yeah. I mean, she is not afraid of a bold print.
She is an 80s woman.
Yeah. She had I forgot the MC Hammer sunglasses.
Yes, love them.
Yeah. She loves a bold print and a statement eyewear.
But she also, I mean, she loves a good like white top too. It's like, it's very what shop on the mall would she buy this at? Is this
Talbot's? I don't know.
Talbot's, maybe.
But it's island chic, linens, things like that. Yeah, yeah.
She's in the Bahamas. I suppose she's got a kind of. But I do wonder if she had like if they had like a cut, maybe obviously not a cut scene, but like an extra scene where she like accessorizes and goes shopping and just like gets a Bahamas gear ready, like the big sunglasses.
Yeah, for sure, because she needs some island wear, something. She's used to kind of brutal winters in what is it, Martha's Vineyard, and kind of probably humid. She's used to the humidity in the East Coast. But
is it pretty queer for this movie to follow the Ellen Brody character? Is this what like a gay man would have wanted? Is a sequel that revolves around her,
a woman of a certain age?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. I suppose in one sense, I mean, they've done stuff with having the children as almost like the forefront, essentially, with 2 and 3, more so 3. Yeah. So I suppose, where'd you go? I mean, with Martin out of the picture. I mean, and obviously there was the whole Sid wanting Lorraine to be the lead.
Right.
So, yeah, a few factors there.
Yeah. Now, did she... Am I remembering this incorrectly? Did she turn it down a few times?
I think she took a bit of convincing because obviously she hadn't acted in a few years. She was very rusty, I think, by her own admittance when she got onto set. And Michael Caine actually was the one who took her under his wing and was they were really close on set. And he was she had the first day and she said, I was really bad, and he just kind of helped to kind of get her back in the kind of the rhythm, essentially, of acting again, because she was out of the game for a while.
Yeah, you can definitely tell the chemistry is there with her and Michael Caine too. That you can really tell that these two people got along on set, and it translates to all of their scenes together.
Yeah, and upon recent rewatch, I'd say that their chemistry is better than Lance Guest's and Karen Young's, because their relationship is so you can't see them as husband and wife as well as being the parents of Thea. It just doesn't add up that part. Whereas obviously Jake and I forget her name. Is it Louisa? I think her name is his wife. I can buy that, and I can buy Ellen and Hoagie. But yeah, their one is a bit weird, and again a bit the same with even though it's only very brief. Sean and his wife to be is really excitable and a bit giddy, and then apparently she has to get sedated, and then she's at the funeral and she's nowhere near them either. She's on the other side of them. She's nowhere near their family. which is very strange considering how close they were like yesterday.
Yeah.
That line of dialogue is crazy.
But that she had to be sedated?
She had to be sedated.
Oh, my gosh. I love it. That's so, like, oh, my God. That's, like, she's just hysterical. She was in hysterics. Just give her a Valium.
I mean, it's just pretty horrible going back to that, because that scene does kind of stick with me a little bit of when Alan has to go identify the body and there's not enough there for it to be a body.
God.
And
oh, my God.
Clearly tell him that sheet. And then the officer kind of gives her his things, and they're all crying, and it's quite sad, Polly's back as well, obviously from the other Jaws films. I don't know if she's the same actress, but Polly as in like from the police department.
Oh, sure. Yeah. We thought, that was definitely not the same actress.
Is this supposed to be the same
character?
Character of the karate chopping the fences? Oh, I'd love that. I'd love that lady in Jaws 1975.
Yeah, because the character's name is Polly in both. But yeah, it's not the same woman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think as far as like sequels and requels and reboots and all that go, like Scott was saying at the beginning, everybody's kind of up in arms about how,
pandering movies can be now.
But it's been there all along. Yeah. Like it was there in this movie in '87, but I think they do kind of a good job for it.
They kind of had their finger on the pulse of nostalgia and legacy sequels in the late '80s.
There you go, legacy sequels.
Yeah, and like you say, if it was done today, it would literally be a case of they would almost like freeze frame on them and be like, "Do you remember this person?"
Sure.
It would be so obvious they would beat you over the head with it.
I mean, or it would just be that Force Awakens thing where, we're just remaking the first movie, like beat for beat,
right.
And it's the character of the great grandson,
right?
That we're following. Yeah. I also love a sequel that's so bad that it is the nail in the coffin of a franchise. Do you think that we've gotten to that place with the Terminator movies?
Oh yeah,
where it's like I don't think that they can make anymore.
Yeah,
the interest is just not there.
I mean, I'm a mild defender of Dark Fate. I don't mind Dark Fate, but like I remember watching Terminator Genesis, and I was drunk as well, and it was still bad. It was so bad.
And Terminator Genesis,
I was like, this is bad.
Is that the one with
That's Daenerys.
Daenerys Targaryen.
Yeah.
Okay, and Doctor Who, right?
And Jai Courtney's in it.
Okay, sure.
Matt Smith. Yeah.
Not good.
It's rough. It's rough. But yeah, I agree. I mean, the thing is, and then again, Terminator essentially is a franchise you would think wouldn't need a sequel in a sense of the way.
Right.
But obviously, I know T2 works and everything like that. But obviously, the more you go on, the more you kind of almost like rinse and repeat, which is obviously the almost like it's the formula of sequels in a way, isn't it? I suppose. I mean, with Jaws: The Revenge, it's a bit of a strange one because obviously they wanted to keep the series going, but then. To so definitively kill it, that it was so untouchable. The fact that no one's gone anywhere near it, I think, ever really, or ever tried to revive it, other than maybe trying to float doing a remake, which would never happen under Spielberg's watch. So,
yeah. Well, like we were saying, this movie has a reputation, and I think that if you actually give it a minute. It's not as bad as its reputation would tell you it is, right?
And I find it more watchable than Jaws 3D. I find Jaws 3D to be the weakest one for me because, again, it feels so odd in the series in terms of like the structure and then the way it's laid out. It just feels like it's in a different universe, essentially. And I know, obviously, Jaws 3 was going to be a very different film, and then they pivoted towards what we got, but it doesn't feel like it's in the same universe at all, whereas this actually feels like it's in the same universe for better or for worse than the first one.
I find Jaws 2 a little tedious to watch. I can really feel the length of a movie like Jaws 2.
Shouldn't be 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's the one that kind of feels like a soft remake of like the first movie. But you're right. I feel like Jaws 3, Jaws 3D definitely feels like if those characters were not named Brody, it could have just been its own thing, right? branching off of the franchise. So it doesn't really feel like it has any roots to these characters. And yeah, just bringing Ellen back and starting it off in Amity and all of that just really does feel like a proper sequel, like, you know, for better, for worse, I guess. But yeah. And at the end of the day, I feel like if it's a watchable movie, if you could just put it on of an evening and have a drink and watch it and just like, you can laugh at how corny it is. It's like, it's fun, you know? I think that's a mark of like a not terrible movie. 'Cause, you know,
yeah, I mean, I don't think, you know, we've all watched bad films, but I think I don't think there's a point in Jaws of Revenge where you say, right, I'm out.
Turn it off, yeah.
Because it, like say 80, 85, 90 minutes. By the time you might have even considered it, you're halfway through. You can continue. Just enjoy the ride.
Yeah, we'll just take it to the end. Yeah, you're right. So.
All right. Well, Paul, thank you so much for joining us. Do you want to talk a little bit about some of your books that you've written?
That's fine. I mean, obviously from our conversation, so in 2022, I released a book on Jaws the Revenge called The Shark is Roaring, the story of Jaws the Revenge, which was a COVID project for me. So I'd worked with another author on a book about the Black Christmas films. And what happened was, because I'd started that, I think it was around like 2019 or something like that, I'd done a big chunk of what I needed to do, and I was still in that kind of that writing phase. We were all at home, you know, we all weren't doing very much. So I was like, I need to kind of do something, and this kind of came up, and I'd done an interview with Mitchell Anderson, who played Sean Brody. It was a couple of years before that, I think, which was in a magazine called Scream Magazine, and it was nice. It was like it was a front cover, and I was like, yeah, that's amazing. And and it's the first time he'd really talked about the film, and he had a lot to say. So I got back in touch with him and I said, would you fancy, like, you know, beefing up the interview? And then started to put the feelers out for other people. And obviously that some of the cast had obviously and crew had passed away, but I managed to get a few people. Finally got Lorraine Gary to speak about the film for the first time in 35 years, you know, via some contacts. And she was very, you know, very candid about talking about the experience, because obviously with the film itself, is when it was released, like I said, there was this backlash, but the press, if you ever see the clippings, they really went in hard on her, and they basically made it all her fault because of her connection to Sid, and just saying it was like almost like a vanity project. But at the same time, it was like this. It got really nasty in the sense that they were just attacking a woman basically for being a lead in a big franchise film. When you know, well, yeah. It's the book was released. It was fun to kind of revisit, you know, and just talk through the production, because like I say, the production itself is actually probably more interesting than the film because of how much of a mess it was. But yeah, and so that and the Black Christmas book covers the original 1974 film, the 2006 film, which is, you know, bonkers. And obviously the 2019 remake, and that's called It's Me, Billy, Black Christmas Revisited. They're both available through Bear Manor Media, which is the publisher. Okay. We managed to get a few interviews for that were quite nice. We couldn't get Olivia Hussey, unfortunately. And John Saxon literally just passed away at the point of when we were getting towards the end, and we were still trying, but obviously he must have been quite far along, you know, in terms of end of life or whatever. And then more recently, I think it was February, I released a book on the Maniac Cop trilogy called, what's it called now? My publisher's going to kill me for this. This City is Going to Hell, The Making of Maniac Cop, which covers, again, the three films from Bill Lustig. And yeah, that was a project that was kind of started about 3 years ago, and then it's just kind of, we got to a point where, you know, we were happy with it, and that's through the same publisher who did the Taking Shape books, if anyone's read them, Harker Press. So they do a lot of in-depth ones about kind of genre films. So they, you know, we were really great publisher. They gave me a lot of support, and, you know, gave me some good contacts. And yeah, Bill Lustig, I had a chat with him about it. He's a great guy to talk to, because he's not just you know, someone who obviously worked on the films. He's like a bit of a cinephile himself. Okay. So we talked for about an hour on Maniac Cop, but then we talked for about half an hour just about action films, which was just wild. Talking to the Lustig here, he's a genre icon. So yeah, they're all available probably on Amazon if you look for them. Fun to write, and yeah, hopefully there may be more in the future.
Love it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show. This was a great opportunity and a great time to. This is a great episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolute pleasure. I've loved it. Thank you.
Yeah, and anytime you want to come back, let us know because we had a lot of fun. And if you have another movie in mind, I mean, neither of us have seen Maniac Cop.
I was gonna say I did not grow up on Maniac Cop. Yeah. I'm kind of surprised you haven't seen it, Pete.
No, I know. So we got to do our homework now. So we'll watch Maniac Cop.
We need to check it out.
I mean, look at this: Bruce Campbell, Tom Atkins from Halloween 3.
What year is it?
It is 88. Yeah,
very cool. Yeah. We'll have to check it out.
If you vibe with that kind of that scuzzy kind of New York of the 80s,
yes,
pre Rudy Giuliani. It's kind of you'll really kind of the aesthetic of it will really work for you. I mean, it's a bonkers film, obviously, but and it's getting a remake soon from Nicholas Refn, who did Drive. So who knows how that'll turn out?
Oh, yeah, interesting. All right, okay. But so we'll definitely check that out in the meantime. But like I said, you're always welcome to come back on the show. This was a ton of fun. Listeners, do not go anywhere. We'll be right back with more show. Thank you so much to Paul Downey for joining us for this episode. This was a lot of fun.
All of his books sound really interesting.
Yeah.
Go check them out.
Yeah, absolutely. Go check out his stuff. And thank you again, Paul, for coming on and for bringing Jaws 4 to the table. Like I said,
we did a Jaws commentary earlier this year. Didn't we do one this past summer? Yeah. It's been a Jaws summer on the podcast.
Yeah.
We might be closing the book on covering Jaws. I don't see us.
All that's left is Jaws 2.
All that's left is Jaws 2.
And I definitely don't think we need to cover.
That's okay though.
Yeah, but this was a lot of fun. But I think right now,
let's do some weekly rewind.
Yes, indeed.
All right, so we have seen a few movies in the theater. Mm-hmm. First, let's talk about Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma, directed by Jane Schoenbrunn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is a movie that I was very excited for as soon as I heard a loose premise of this movie that Hannah Einbinder from Hacks and Gillian Anderson were making a movie together that sort of revolved around an 80s summer camp slasher. I mean, I am immediately like, sign me up.
Right.
This is my type of bullshit.
Saw the trailer, was intrigued, liked everybody that was involved. We went and we saw this movie, and I have to say that the attention to detail in creating Camp Miasma as a fictional in-universe horror franchise was done really well. I think the fake or the fictional ad campaign, the fictional marketing for the movie relies a little heavily on the visuals from Friday the 13th. It is essentially just recreating Friday the 13th.
And a little sleepaway camp.
Artwork. Well, no, I'm just talking about the artwork, the cover art, the movie posters, the VHS posters, all the different media that came from. Now, this is all done in the opening title sequence. Mm-hmm. The opening title sequence is constructed to show the fictional universe of the Camp Miasma franchise. And so much of it relies very heavily on Friday the 13th. And I'm talking about the visual language of Camp Miasma, even to the point of the mid-90s sci-fi, Camp Miasma 3000, and the third one being Camp Miasma 3D. And I know a lot of movies in 1984, there were a lot of threequels in 1984 that were 3D. So, but when it got past that, it seemed like it's taking a lot from Sleepaway Camp in that there is interesting queer and trans elements to the main character that were dealt with in an 80s way, and now that in this reboot that they're creating in this movie, they have to deal with Hannah Einbinder playing this queer poly character.
And kind of the
addressing it.
Queer community taking back something that's problematic.
Right.
Too.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether all of that worked in the movie itself,
I really enjoyed the first 30 minutes of this movie.
Yes.
I really liked the more sincere character moments of both Hannah and Julian's performances.
Right.
I think all of that was very well done. I think where this movie lost both of us is when the characters sit down and watch the Camp Miasma movies.
Yes.
That we are seeing what appears to be a movie from 1983 that they're watching.
Or earlier, yeah.
That I do think that this is when I start to pull at some of these threads. And
now,
I don't know if its director... I don't know. I don't know if this director was really trying to accurately make a movie from the 80s.
So I have read about this. We won't spoil too much because this movie's still in theaters and some people have not seen it. But there are apocryphal instances of this in-universe early 80s movie. Like the use of songs that are from the 90s and the use of
camera techniques
not camera techniques necessarily, but cameras, physical technology that did not exist at this time. Now, the director has gone on record by saying this is to imply how maybe young people, like let's say your age, went back and watched things like Friday the 13th that were created before you were born. But now that you're an adult, you have a memory of watching it, and you in your memory are conflating the time frame from when you were a kid.
Yeah.
So you have these memories of, oh, I'm a kid, and these are pop songs that are on. Right? But I'm watching this movie that was made before I was born, and in your memories, you are misremembering it.
Okay.
Or you're having nostalgia for it in a way that's incorrect.
I don't know how
I didn't get that.
Draw that comparison to the Counting Crows with a slasher movie from the early 80s.
Yeah.
If this was
it was presented too literally.
Yeah.
It was presented literally.
I think that's my big problem.
They are watching the movie in a very Gillian Anderson's character, she plays Billy something, I forgot the last name, but she is essentially what's her name from Friday the 13th Part 1? Alice? Adrienne King? She's essentially playing Adrienne King.
Yeah.
Right? She was the final girl in the first movie. The movie went on to have 1 million sequels.
She stepped back from fame. Yeah.
And she never did a sequel, and she
didn't really go on to work a lot
right
after Friday the 13th.
Now, what this movie is doing is presenting this actress in a Norma Desmond way. She is a over-the-top, very dramatic caricature of an actress who lives in a reclusive, secluded... The actual filming location of the first movie.
She lives at the sleepaway camp.
She has turned it into
movie.
This compound in which she lives. She has created a 80s movie theater within this compound. And they're watching the movie in a very Sunset Boulevard Norma Desmond way. She's even wearing a turban. And this takes up way too much of the movie.
Yeah.
We are watching Camp Miasma Part 1 in real time. And they're presenting it as we're watching it. And so these apocryphal things threw us both for a loop. And I don't know, call us old, call us Gen X.
I don't think that they made Camp Miasma look terrible enough. Like, this is a very artsy-fartsy movie from the 80s that they're producing.
The kills used heavy CGI.
Yeah. Well, I think that there's a lot of AI use in this movie that they're not talking about in press.
Right.
But I have not
There
seen
was
any of that
heavy
proof, though.
CGI use in the movie. And when Jason would pick up a sleeping bag with someone in it and hit it against a tree, he just dropped it at the end. It did not explode in his hands. Right? Mm-hmm. And if it did, if he ever crushed someone's skull, it was all practical effects. And they did not utilize that for the in-universe 80s movie. Mm-hmm. They used CGI. And to go so far out of their way to be accurate to a false narrative of this movie existing, then they show us the movie and it couldn't have existed.
Yeah.
Did not work for
That's
me.
definitely my problem.
Yeah.
But, there's a lot of people that I know, am friends with, that follow on Letterboxd that are logging this movie 5 stars, so maybe the problem is me.
Well, much like Law Roach, those people are stupid. If you like this look and you have to argue with me, you're stupid. Yeah.
No, we're not saying that, listeners, if you like this movie. Because I'm saying, this movie has a very high Rotten Tomatoes score. I'm seeing a lot of 4 and 5 star logs on this movie, so maybe this movie is just not for us.
7.1 out of 10 on IMDb.
I really like the performances in it of Hannah and Jillian. Jillian is doing some kooky work. It makes me think that Jillian just showed up with this character and she was like to Jane, this is what I'm doing.
I'm giving her a Dolly Parton Southern Pigeon Forge accurate Southern accent when the young version of her character in the Count Miasma movie does not have an accent.
I had a lot of issues with her younger casting. That is not how young people looked in movies in the early 80s.
And also looks nothing like Gillian Anderson. Mm-hmm. I think when it's successful, the first third or half of the movie were really funny. I love the casting in this movie. I think using people like Kevin McDonald from The Kids in the Hall, Sarah Sherman.
The guy that worked at the convenience store?
Yeah, who said he was in the movie. Yeah. He worked at I forgot where he worked, but he was an extra in the movie. Yeah. But the guy who Patrick Fischler, he worked behind the counter, and he's the guy who's like, your kids are going to die out there.
Oh, sure. I would know this guy from everything.
Yeah, he's in everything.
Yeah.
Even Dylan Baker, some really fun, interesting casting choices that I enjoyed. And yeah, Hannah and Jillian were great together. All the stuff with the KFC, so good.
Yeah, loved all of that.
Jillian Anderson touching every piece of fried chicken, just touching them with her hands.
Yeah.
So good. But then she takes so much of her time to unpack an entire bucket of fried chicken. And then we cut to them eating, and Hannah Einbinder is eating tenders.
I noticed that too. Yeah.
I was like, where did these fucking tenders come from? Mm-hmm. How much did she order? Whatever.
All of those dipping sauces.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's funny.
And you know what, listeners? We have not seen I Saw the TV Glow, too. And I have heard from friends of mine that I think our problems with this movie are even more apparent in
friend of the pod.
I Saw the TV Glow.
MTMUG 2-time guest Rudy Blue walked out of I Saw the TV Glow.
I think it's a very love it or hate it type of movie. Too.
I think we are the Greg Araki generation, and this is not that.
Yeah.
I think those kids who love this movie are going to watch Nowhere and Doom Generation and be like, I couldn't watch it. It's too gross.
I might be talking out of my ass, but I think the type of people that really respond to teenage sex and death at Camp Miasma may not have the references that this movie is pulling.
Right.
That maybe we go into this movie a little too critical because we do have those references more.
Right.
But that said, there are people that I follow that really like this movie that are around our age. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah. So that's our 5-minute review on that movie. But I'm glad we watched it. So
I'm glad that we went to it too.
An opinion on it.
We went to a movie last night.
We did.
We went to The End of Oak Street.
Yes, we did.
What did you think of The End of Oak Street?
The popcorn movie of the summer.
I thought this was a lot of fun. I liked it a lot.
I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it.
I think this is a high concept premise that in the hands of the wrong director, J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams,
who produced the
thank God
movie.
he did not direct
I could
this movie.
see this being the type of movie that has a lot of promise but cannot really deliver its execution. But I do think that David Robert Mitchell can write a check that he can cash with this story. That I do think that it works.
Yes, it worked. I think this is a movie that I think this is a good 4-quadrant movie. I think anybody can go watch this movie and find something that they like about it. It is it's a monster movie. It's a dinosaur movie. This town ends up back in time. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah.
It just does.
Very Treehouse of Horror.
It just does.
Yeah.
Very Outer Limits. Mm-hmm. Very Outer Limits.
And it's the type of thing that I think that movies and TVs now can really get in the weeds with the premise like this.
Of the whys.
The
wherefores and the whys.
Exposition dumps from characters trying to explain their way around this crazy premise. But I do think that this movie really toes the line of not doing that so much.
I will say right now, if you have not seen this movie, do not watch the latest trailer on IMDb because a major thing is spoiled in it.
Oh, I don't know what it is.
I'm sad about that.
I don't think I've seen it.
I won't mention it. It was just playing right now on my screen, and I'll show it to you afterwards. But I'm kind of sad that this is in the latest trailer. So if you've seen the early trailers, that's good. But I think we both had a great time. I think that Anne Hathaway,
Queen of Cinema of 2026,
Queen of Our Hearts.
I think she's doing some really good work here.
Yeah. I think that this movie really could have suffered with somebody else in it.
I think that, absolutely. If you would have cast, especially the mother character, I could see in the hands of someone else this really not working.
Yeah.
But Anne Hathaway's a great actress.
Yeah.
So I think that she really, I wouldn't say carries the movie. Ewan McGregor and both of the kids are really good in it.
Yeah.
But I do think that it's a very make or break type of performance with this material.
I agree. I think all the period stuff worked perfectly.
Oh, the house looked incredible.
The
house looked like old houses.
Everything looked completely right. The wardrobe, all the costumes. It wasn't over the top. It wasn't, look at me, look at these barrettes, look at this. Nobody was wearing neon. It was perfect visual representation of the early 80s. Ewan was wearing very kind of 70s clothes, which I liked. The cars were all 70s cars. You know, it's taking place in 1982. It was right. It was accurate. The hair was good. The looks were great. The dog was a real dog for as long as it could be a real dog.
Yeah.
And until it was like, you know, clearly not. But no, I thought the action stuff was great. I thought it was really fun. Really fun. Really interesting take on the look of the dinosaurs.
I thought it was pretty cool. I don't think I've ever seen dinosaurs look like that in a movie.
Yeah.
And you know what I really appreciated about this movie is that in moments, this shit was scary.
Yes.
And I don't think that I've ever really been on the edge of my seat in a Jurassic Park movie after the first movie in 93. I don't think I've ever genuinely been like scared by anything.
Maybe
in those movies.
Maybe the big trailer in Jurassic World. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's going over the cliff.
That's a good sequence.
But no, but this was tense. I was tense the whole time. I think my watch was probably just like, you need to calm down.
It was funny to see this with a pretty
packed
house and the audience reactions, because we don't get us fucking started on people talking during movies. Yeah. But what I kind of gave it a pass was that it was nervous talking.
It was, yeah.
It was people kind of reacting to everything that was happening on screen.
Yeah. There are moments where we were just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we both enjoyed it. It's a popcorn movie. For as intense as it is, this is PG-13.
Yeah.
But there's some...
I could see bringing small children to this movie and them being scared.
Scared.
And you know what, parents? Bring your small children to this movie.
Get scared.
They need to be scared by movies.
At the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Very good. Fun stuff. Fun stuff.
And she's on a roll.
She is.
I can't wait for this Michael Showalter movie. I think it looks like a lot of fun.
I keep forgetting that Michael Showalter directed.
Michael Showalter directed that movie. What the hell is it called?
Weird name.
It is
Vendetta.
It is Verity.
Verity. Mm-hmm. It means the truth.
Yeah. But does that do it for the Weekly Rewind?
Yeah, we've been watching some vintage Project Runway on Tubi.
We're going to be recording a Patreon episode very, very soon on Project Runway.
Yes, indeed.
We're going to be revisiting...
Inspired by our Tubi
We're going to be revisiting the classics of Runway.
Yeah, some good stuff over on Tubi, and it's all free. But there's ads. But you can watch the classics.
Maybe we'll talk more about the new Project Runway on the Patreon episodes.
I think we're gonna have to
on the Patreon episode. Yeah. I just put on Unfaithful the other night when you were at work, and I watched all of Unfaithful. I forget kind of how serious and depressing the last 20 minutes of that movie is. That it really gets. That shit gets real. Once he gets hit over the head with the snow globe, it turns into a very depressing movie.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean,
But it was good though.
It's got old Diane Lane getting railed on
It's
the
one
stairs.
of my favorite Best Actress nominations of the 2000s. I love her Best Actress nomination for that movie. I think it's really good. Yeah. The type of thing that you do not see anymore is you don't see an adult thriller / drama. You don't see a Best Actress nomination anymore for that.
Right.
For a movie released in the summer.
Right. I remember seeing that in the theater. We were all like kind of shocked by it. But, good movie. Good movie. Mm-hmm. Well, with that said, that brings us to the end. So, listeners, you can go ahead and follow us on your favored podcast listening app. Go ahead and give us a follow so that you can be notified when new shows drop, and give us a like and leave us a review.
Yeah, give us 5 stars
if you're so inclined. You can follow us on socials. We are most active on Instagram, where we are at Movies That Made Us Gay. Give us a like, leave a comment, share the post, repost it to your stories. Do any of that interaction. That helps us find a broader audience over there. And if you want to follow our personals, feel free. My name is Pete. I'm at Peter Lasagna on Instagram.
I'm Scott Youngballer on Instagram, and follow my Letterboxd.
You can keep track of all the movies that we're watching in real time over on Scott's Letterboxd. Until next week, everyone, thank you and bye.
Bye.